Hey, yo, San Antonio. Come out and show some love for your boy and Landon Tice at Rounders, February 16th through 20th. Hope to see you there.
650.
I had a pair of the flusher on the against the wall.
I'm okay. I don't see the light of day. Looking up to higher ground, thinking that'll be your sweet escape. These days gotta schedule the romance. They say that love is a slow dance. A short bike ride to the crib, using no hands. Oh, did it feel like I'm floating? But I'm falling with both eyes closed when I let the rush spin. Testing the water, she got my nerves tense.
It's Thursday, January 20th, and we are obviously in the shower, getting clean, prepared to head down to the Strip to hopefully jump into a 5-10 game at the Bellagio. Could I have done this and filmed this outside of the shower after I got clean? Probably. But you know what? Two birds, one stone.
Like when I brought up significantly and like misplay hands horribly and like...
Okay, it's been 2 hours since I took that shower. I've been sitting down here watching my boy Berkey chop up this Hustler stream. I played some hands on ACR, but now it's time to get out of this chair. It's time to get out of this chair. It's time to head down to the Strip. I'm already on the list at Bellagio. So that's where we're headed. Bellagio.
I was so eager to learn some things. Anxiety bring out the worst in me. Society paint me as enemy. My making it buy that remedy. I'm more occasional, don't do it regularly. Backs under my eyes, weighing down heavily. Mama been worried, the devil allegedly deep in the plan. Subconsciously wanted it since I was 10. I thought I was sharp on my scroll and my pen thinking dead. So mama found she to them legs. She told me that's not who I am. But nowadays I put on for the fam, see you when I can. I'm surrounded by my feelings, I'm stuck on a Ferris wheel. I bet I parachute 140.
Okay, we are here. We have made it to the Bellagio. I am not going to get into some big chit-chatty opening thing because I just want to get in there and play. So, you know, let's get on with the thing. So we do get out of that chair and we head to the Strip. And by the time we made it to the Bellagio, we were already at the top of the 5-10 list and get ushered into a must-move game pretty quickly. So far, everything is going great. And then the poker starts. And we sit. And fold. And fold. And fold. This is poker. And this is how it goes most nights. The first hand that we actually end up playing happens in a straddle pot. So this hand is essentially 5, 10, 20. Action folds around to me on the button, and I make it $60 to go with Queen Jack suited and win the blinds. Now we're having fun. So after scooping that pot, guess what we do next? We fold. And fold. And fold. The lack of playable hands starts messing with your mind. You begin to fear that when you do pick up a hand, that'll be insanely obvious because you've played nothing, and thus you won't get any action. So then you start trying to make things happen with lackluster hands. When I say lackluster, I mean it. In this hand, under the gun opens to 30, and I lose all discipline, and out of boredom, find a call with 7-4 offsuit when action folds around to me. Keep in mind, this hand isn't playable from any position, and even less so from the big blind to an under the gun open. But here we are. The flop of Queen 4-6 actually isn't horrible, but out of position, I check. The under the gun player bets 30, and now with a pair, a call is warranted. The turn 5 of hearts is interesting, as now the board is slowly moving towards being more beneficial for the big blind than it is for an under the gun opener. I check again. This time he bets $70, and I find another call with my pair, and now being open-ended. The river 7 of spades is incredibly good, as not only does it give me 2 pair, but it also gives me the ability to raise if he tries to get cute with a river bet, as I should have a ton more 8s and 3s as the big blind caller than he has as the under the gun opener. I check and prepare to go to war if he bets now. However, he doesn't. He checks back. I table my 2 pair and win a pot that I should have never been in the first place. We didn't have to wait too much longer to play the next non-playable hand. Action folds to me in the small blind, and guess what? Jack deuce offsuit. How good am I running? We could and should easily fold this hand and move on to the next one, but I probably wouldn't be talking now if that was the case. We opened at $30 and the big blind calls, and now what? If I'm going to open this hand, I could probably find a c-bet on the ace 9-9 flop, but I don't. I check, and the big blind checks as well. The king of diamonds hits the turn, and both our actions are the same. As you can see, we are really ratcheting up the aggression here. The river 3 of diamonds apparently is what I was waiting for, because now I spring into action by betting $30 into 60, and the big blind folds instantly, which means he had absolutely nothing, because what pair would be folding that river? I like to tell myself that I got him to fold queen high. Oh, awesome. Look, a playable hand. Here I open king jack offsuit over what I thought was a dead $10 in the middle, but it turns out it was just the big blind, as he is the person next to the small blind, and for some reason that confused me. OMC cutoff calls, the small blind calls, and the big blind, again, that's the guy next to the small blind, he calls as well. 4 of us see the ridiculous flop of 7 of diamonds, 4 of hearts, 5 of spades, and I call it ridiculous because it's basically good for everyone except me. However, despite that, it gets checked through. If you, like me, are hoping for a turn king or jack, or maybe even another 7 of diamonds to make the deck bad, you're out of luck. It's the queen of hearts. The small blind checks and the big blind bets $100. I fold, which is fine because mentally, I was done with the hand after I saw that ridiculous flop. After the total whiff with king jack offsuit, we quickly settle right back into the regime of folding for what feels like days. We do manage to pick up pocket 4s at one point and open at $30. We get called by the small blind and then squeezed to 160 from the big blind and fold. A bit later we pick up pocket 9s in late position and open at $30. Get raised by the button to $140. The big blind then cold calls the 140 and we follow suit. We fold to a $150 donk lead by the big blind on king jack 8 rainbow. And now we're back to folding for a while again. Years. Until we pick up pocket aces under the gun. Okay, let's go. We open to the standard $30 and everyone folds. Overall, I didn't really get anything going either good or bad at the must move game. And one of the last hands I saw before moving to a main game, I opened at $30 with ace 7 of diamonds from the cutoff and get called by the small blind. Heads up, we see a flop of 5 deuce 9 with 2 hearts and 1 diamond, and the small blind checks. This board is pretty neutral, but I have an ace and some back doors, and I elect to bet here. I size up, bet $40 into 70, and he quickly releases. In the last vlog that I released, I sat down at the win and immediately was in action the very first hand that I saw. And if I remember correctly, it didn't end too well. Well, let's do that again. First hand at the main game, and we see the middle position player limp, the cutoff limp, and now I get to see a flop for quote-unquote free with 8-9 offsuit. Okay. 3 of us see a flop of 8 of spades, queen of diamonds, jack of hearts. Out of position versus 2 players with bottom pair isn't really the spot that big pot dreams are made of, so I check. The middle position player continues for $20 and the cutoff calls. Well, I do have a pair in kind of sort of a really horrific draw, kinda. I call. The turn? Well, now things get interesting as this hand just got way worse and way better at the exact same time. It's the 9 of clubs. I check again now with 2 pair and with the 4-liner to a straight on board. Middle position player bets $60 and the cutoff calls again. See? Do you see? See what kind of predicament I've got myself into? Now I'm in the middle of a limped pot thunderstorm. Simply folding and the pain would be over. I call. The river? Well, looky here. It's the 9 of diamonds. Now we're talking. I knew it was coming. The smart play here would be to continue checking, but out of fear that it might get checked through, I lead for $160. The middle position player tanks for a while and finally settles on a fold. However, the cutoff snap calls. He called so quickly that I was actually disappointed that I hadn't bet more. I table my hand, he mucks, he then exclaims, "Runner, runner!" Says he had a straight and mixes in a MF bomb. Good times.
Runner, runner! I had the straight, so. Motherfucker!
I didn't mention this earlier, but poker vlogger Lex-o was at this table in the 2 seat. You can't see him on camera. He was actually in the middle of getting a table change as his hand started, and I had requested to take his seat for the next hand. As you may know, I absolutely hate sitting in the middle of the table. I didn't play many hands in this seat at this table, but the hands I did play, I made them count. This hand is exactly 1 orbit after the limped 8-9 becomes a full house hand, and I'm in the big blind again. Limping isn't common at all at 510, but for some reason there were a few players at this table that were fans of it. Here, there's an early position limp, middle position limps, action pulls to the small blind, he completes, and again, I see a quote-unquote free flop, this time with 9-5 offsuit.
Pour myself a cup of ambition.
4 of us see a flop of 4-9-6 with 2 diamonds. The small blind checks, I check top pair, the original limper checks, and the middle position player bets $30. The small blind calls, I call, obviously, and the original limper folds. We're down to 3 players. The turn, the 9 of hearts. Small blind checks again, I check again, and the middle position player overbets for $150. The small blind insta folds, and action is now on me. Well, this is interesting. I doubt the middle position player has a 9 for obvious reasons. So what's he overbetting with? Possibly some sort of combo straight and flush draw? Had he flopped a set and turned a full house, would he be overbetting here? Probably not. I could check raise, but I think that would generate a lot of folds, as that would look insanely strong. I don't want him to fold, and my hand is strong, but not insanely strong. So that leaves call, which is what I do. Telepathically, I tell the dealer I'm thinking about a card. The dealer burns and turns the 5 of clubs. I was actually telling her to burn and turn the 5 of diamonds, but this is good enough. Now I'm insanely strong. Heads up and out of position, I have to give the middle position player the ability to bluff or value own himself. It's quite likely that 5 made his hand, and if it didn't, if he missed, he needs to bluff in order to win. I check, and he obliges with a bet of $220. Now I tank. His bet sizing is indicating that he has something. However, it's hard to deduce if that something is a straight or if that something is just a hand like 7-5 of diamonds that missed the flush but ran into a pair. After about 30 seconds, I announce $650.
$650?
Which sends him into the tank for a full minute and 51 seconds before he calls.
Damn! Dolly Parton connects.
It's all taking and no giving.
mid-session update time, and I have a guest with me, YouTube superstar, Lex-o Poker.
What's up, guys?
If you're not familiar with Lex-o Poker and his channel, you need to check it out. I will link it in the description below. Let's get into some session talk. My session started slow.
Let me get my
My session started slow. It has picked up over the last, I don't know, since I moved. We were on the same table for a while.
runner a couple times.
I went runner a couple times, and now I have a ton of chips. So far, session's going good. And you, my friend, how's it going for you?
A little rough today. I lost 2 big hands. I lost with a set, and I lost with a flush. We're down like 2K, but we're gonna stick it out another hour or so, see what happens. Maybe we'll get some back. Yeah. Not running as good as this guy. No runner full house.
He's sticking it out longer than me. I'm gonna be here for another 30 minutes, and then we're going to the next place. We're going to a surprise location after this, so stay tuned.
All right.
I didn't stay much longer after that update with Lex-o. In fact, I only played 2 or 3 more hands, 2 of which were pocket pairs that didn't go much further past the flop. It was getting late, and I wanted to stop by another casino, so it was just time to rack up and get out of the Bellagio. So obviously the session at Bellagio is over. In that game for 1,500, out for 2,892. So up $1,392. Ran into Lex-o Poker, who you probably saw during the mid-session update. He told me after the mid-session update, his session turned around. So it's just all good all around. And we're at the Mecca. The place where I used to wrap up all my Vegas trips. We're returning. Even though it's like 12:30 in the morning, I think this room closes at 3, and it's a Thursday. Let's see what we can do at Bally's. Why not? It was already pretty late for a Thursday night when I got to Bally's, and I didn't plan on staying very long to begin with. The only hand I really got into there was one in which I raised from middle position with pocket kings to $15 over 2 early position limpers. The button calls, the under the gun limper calls, and we see a flop of 8, 6, 7 rainbow 3 ways. I bet $30 when the under the gun player checks to me, and both villains fold.
140 acres, she want the horse and the carriage, a porcelain portion and garbage. I talk to the mirror, I know that life's not the fairest. I lost my can, I can't pay off the bills with the blessing. I'm sure I relate to the rhythm.
Although I was only there for about an hour, I did manage to miss enough draws to dunk off $100. Oh, Bally's, I've missed you. We are going to have to talk about that hockey rink table felt, though. Atrocious.
It's feeling like money is everything. Money is everything. It's everything I need. Till I lay my eyes on you.
Okay, that was a very quick session at Bally's, and there is not much to say about it. I think I won a hand with kings, and like I said, not much to say about it. I will tell you this though. They got me. They got me at Bally's. In for 300, out for like, I don't know, 204, 206. They got me. That's all you need to know. You know what? It's late. It's time to go home. So if you like the videos, hit subscribe. Leave me a comment. I'll probably respond. So I'm going to tell a really quick story. As most of you know, I moved from St. Louis to Las Vegas, but before I lived in St. Louis, I lived in New York. But I'm going to spend this time to decide if there's even going to be a rest of the session. The lesson is, there are other nights, there are other games. Old Jaman. Thursday, January 20th, and we are back in the shower. It's been a while since I really focused on live. I've been Thursday, January 20th, and we are Thursday, January. Thursday, January. If you are a long-time vlog watcher, then you'll remember that I used to end every. You will remember that I used to. So, if you like the...
Alright, sounds good.
That surprise location being Bally's.
There you go.
Yeah. My good friend of mine is a dealer over there. Oh, and by the way, ladies... I'm not doing that.